Hey everyone, welcome to another video on my channel, and today in this video we are going to look at the tech issues which are happening often on the broker end and what is the main reason behind the same. So if you actually look at it, last Friday we had some small issue with respect to some Sensex partition, and then we had one more issue on the previous Friday which was quite a major issue. So a lot of orders went pending. None of the orders got cleared, none of the orders got rejected, neither got completed, and suddenly after 10-15 minutes the orders started to get filled at random prices like 600, 700, which led to a huge loss for option sellers. So today we are going to understand this entire thing, what exactly is going wrong with the broker's tech or the exchange tech, how everything is built in first place, and what might have been the reason why these things are happening. So to help us understand this, we have a trader from Twitter whose handle is OptionSeller100. So I'll also attach the link in the description below so you can go and check his profile. So he is a trader himself and also a very senior developer, right? So he is working in tech background for quite some time now, right? And he will be helping us understand this entire thing. And it was a very, very insightful discussion personally for me, and I'm pretty sure you guys are also going to like it. So before we move on to the video, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. So it takes a minute for you to just hit and subscribe, but it really means a lot to us because it will encourage us and motivate us to bring good quality content going forward. So in case if you haven't done that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and with this, let's quickly move on to the video. Now I will like to introduce Option Seller 100 on this show. Hi sir, great to have you here.
Hey Saket,
Yeah.
nice meeting you, and also thanks for your time setting it up. And let's really get into the discussion.
So, what really happened on 14th of July, sir? So, like, that was the day when I actually saw your tweet and I connected with you on Twitter. So, what really went wrong and what really happened?
It's actually 12th July, Friday, which
Okay,
was Sensex
right.
expiry. I think probably I'll never forget this time and date, right? So it was 10:53 in the morning.
Hmm.
So Sensex, suddenly there was a spike of about 200 points, I think 200, 300 points. I not remembered exactly, but then the more than the Sensex, the options price I was trading suddenly moved from 60 rupees to close to 800 rupees in a matter of about 3-4 minutes.
Right,
And
right.
then when I was trying to I mean, I do option selling mostly, and then
Hmm.
when I sold this option at about 60 rupees, and then
Hmm.
I had stop loss at about 80 rupees. I want to really exit when 80 comes in, but then obviously I couldn't do that. When I tried to exit the options, so
Hmm.
the system did not allow, and then it went on to uh, orders, but then nothing is getting executed. When I tried to resubmit, I got a message saying that yeah, I mean, it is getting processed and you can't do much. And immediately I called the customer service or customer support team, and I was on wait list for about 10-15 minutes there. And then
Okay,
by the time
okay,
I reached with them, and they said that there is a issue with in fact, they said that BSC is down, and you just can't do, nobody can do anything, and you need to wait.
okay,
So while that is happening, I, out of curiosity, I went and then saw what is happening to the price, because I just can't do anything because my losses have. I was already at a loss of about 6 lakhs that point of time, and then eventually when this occurred, it got into close to 28 lakhs or whatever.
okay,
Peak I
okay,
think I
okay.
remember seeing about 32 or 33, but then I couldn't do anything. Interestingly, two things that I observed at the same point of time, right? One thing was there were volumes after 10:53, which means that some brokers it is working. For some brokers,
Correct.
probably it is not working, because until unless there is a transaction, you can't see volume. The second one is prices are getting changed, which means that exchange is not down. Probably
Correct.
some APIs were down, and my most guess was order placing APIs were down, but then the price API is working. And a lot of people actually ask this question when exchange is down, why prices are getting updated. It's
Right,
basically
right.
when you have 10 APIs, some things are working, some are not working. I think that's what which happened. And eventually the issue, I think, got resolved after 30 minutes or so. And then I have to exit that point of time, because I do not want to take risk. And that day I had to really close the shop. And
Understood.
overall, I think this episode I lost about 18 lakhs. I know total 25, but then already I was in loss of about 6 lakhs. So I do not
Understood.
want to count that. Yeah, about 18 lakhs. Yeah, I think that's
So
what
I
which happened. Yeah,
Yeah, I think coming from a tech background, so you will have a fair idea on how everything is connected, how everything is working. So, how does the order move from a client to a broker, broker to the exchange, and how the communication happens? So, where exactly the communications can fail, and what is the architecture? So, you will be having a very good idea about that because you come from that background. So, if you can throw some light on how this entire thing is connected and where exactly things went wrong, because this is not one issue. I think there has been continuous issues which are being faced. Even this Friday expiry on Sensex, there was some issue which came. I forgot the exact thing, some partition being happening or something.
that's right. Yeah, I remember. And
Right.
I think this Friday, I would think it's more of a Microsoft server issues. But anyway,
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
we'll discuss this in a little later. So, Saket, what I'll do is I picked up this NSC schematic architecture. I would think it would
Right.
be very similar for BSc as well, but for the benefit of viewers, I wanted to really quickly take them through this architecture. So, if you are able to see my screen,
Yeah.
Saket,
Maybe you can zoom in a little
zoom
with
in a
the
little.
architecture
Yeah.
design. Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah. Yeah. What I can also do is, yeah, you can. This is fine. This is perfect.
All right. So,
Yeah.
this is very schematic, very high level. I know real systems would be a lot more complex than this, but this is as of now for the NSC. As I said, could be same for BSc as well. So we have the members here. These are all called as external entities, mainly from the exchange perspective. Members are
Mhm.
typically brokers, and then we're all somewhere here. The traders and investors
Okay,
were
the
also
clients
this.
outside the
That's
listed.
right.
Yeah.
And then each broker they would connect through the leased line, and then switch could
Mm.
be firewall kind of a thing where it will actually detect who is connecting, who is not connecting. And then once they connect, it will get onto their online systems. Again, they'll have mainly three entities, which is your order book and then trading, where the pretty much all the orders are placed. And then you also have the
Mhm.
risk management. It is basically to really look at what kind of prices that are getting traded, what kind of
Yeah.
volumes, etc. And also you will also have the clearing and then settlement. And then left side, if you see regulatories in India context, it's
Mhm.
obviously SEBI.
Mhm.
And then you have the data vendors. So some data vendors, they're not the brokers, but then you can always buy the data. So the data also fed to them. Custodians are typically banks in India. This could be HDFC, ICICI, Axis Bank,
Okay.
etc.
Mhm.
And clearing banks are also banks in India. Again, similar kind of a banks. And then depositories, I think all of us know CDSL and
CDSL. Yeah.
NSDL. So these are all the entities. And yeah, again, this is basically the technology aspect out there, how the data feed that is happening. Data feed can happen through WebSockets or the APS, but mostly in this case it could be even a ETL kind of a thing. We do not know what technology that is being used. And all our data, when I say member data, it could be broker data and also traders and investors data here. And then there is going to be some bit of a surveillance here, which means that, as I said, any stock is getting transacted more than its limit, and then you would have seen ASM kind of a list. So that would really, these guys would really monitor. And then all the transactions that we do, they need to be stored perpetually somewhere. So that's where this data warehouse really comes into picture. So pretty much all the transactions that are happening here, it will go on and sit here mainly for the historical purposes. So
Okay.
this is a very high level architecture. And then for us, for this today's discussion, this particular thing is very important: the member leased line and then the
Okay.
firewall or
Switch.
the switch or whatever,
Okay.
right? So uh, now I will go to BSc. They have a very comprehensive document. It's called Enhanced Trading Interface. So just for the information, BSc in fact uses so Deutsche Börse Group, which is a German trading company or German. I think they do a lot of this exchange related software. So they use their infrastructure. But then one thing that I wanted to really bring to your notice, actually, there are a couple of things. The first one is this one. this is basically the trading interface is given to the brokers who wanted some kind of a throughput, and also who wanted low latency. Let me explain what is throughput and latency. Throughput is basically ability for someone to process number of requests, let's say per second or per minute or whatever.
Okay.
So that is
Okay.
a throughput. Throughput, for example, it could be a broker will be able to really process 10,000 requests per second, versus one more broker will be able to process 20,000 requests per second. That is a throughput. Latency is once you send a request, you
Yeah,
need to
the
get a
speed.
response back.
Huh.
So the time that it takes to send a request and then get the response back, that's called latency. Low latency is obviously typically it's milliseconds, and
Right.
uh, and that goes with one more thing here, which is it says that the BSETA is asynchronous. I think it's
Mm.
important to understand what is asynchronous. Asynchronous typically, let's say, let me give a simple example. If you're using WhatsApp, you put a
Mhm.
message and then you wait
Mhm.
for somebody to respond.
Mhm.
So that is asynchronous because you are not
Right.
making anybody to wait for you. You can also
Okay. Uh-huh.
send message to 10 people and you can
Uh-huh.
wait for the response to come back.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Versus synchronous, what would happen is synchronous, it's like you are on a phone call. While you are
Uh-huh.
on the phone call, nobody can disturb you. You would say hello and then
Okay.
you would
Okay.
wait for them to
So
respond.
basically, one communication happening is synchronous, and if I can communicate multiple at the same time to multiple places, it's asynchronous.
I think a bit of a variation there. Asynchronous, what
Uh,
would happen is you would not wait for a response.
Okay.
You would
Okay.
actually
Got
deliver a response and then that's all, your job is done. But the response will come automatically. When the response comes, you would consume the response. For example, let's say when you place an order,
it.
and
Mhm.
then if you get a you will get a response back saying that okay, it is successful.
Got it.
But then you
Got
are
it.
not in the queue. You place an order and then you leave from there, and then you get a response back saying that hey, this particular order is successful. That's how it is done.
Okay.
So this
Actually,
is
I have
important.
a question here, sir.
Go ahead.
With respect to the first technical overview, when you said throughput, right?
Yeah.
So here, is it like when you say the request, total request that can be handled 1,000, 10,000, or 2,000 per second? So is it dependent from the exchange side, how much they are going to give it to the broker, or is it about the broker's infrastructure and architecture, or how they have built their tech,
I
which is
think
going
it's definitely combination. I think my view there are two three things that would there, right. One thing is definitely the leisure lane capacity. Obviously, if you do
to.
not have a leisure lane capacity to handle so many requests, you just can't do
Mm.
anything. That's the first thing. The
Okay.
second one is the broker should have right infrastructure to process those many requests to start with. It could be their
Okay.
servers and
Mhm.
then the databases, whatever they are using. That is the second thing. The third one is at least what it feels from the documentation, BSC would really define that. And also, at least I happened to speak to a couple of brokers. What they said was BSC would charge for the rate at which they consume the request. For
Okay. Okay.
example, there could be a rate for, let's say, 10,000 requests per second. That
Okay.
could be
Okay.
one rate. Let's say somebody wants to really send across more requests, that could be more costly. If somebody wants to really process 20,000 requests per second,
Okay.
that
Okay.
could be
Okay.
more costly. So
Okay.
brokers, I would think, obviously they wanted to optimize their pricing, right? They might probably pick up something
Suits
which would
their
be
needs.
applicable at 80% of the times.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Understood.
I mean, in fact, this point is very important, at least for the issue that happened on Friday. That's the reason I wanted to really tell
Got
you
it.
there.
Got it.
And then last but not least, last but not least, here you also see this is important. This is more on the throttle side.
Mhm.
The architecture, the design also takes into consideration. It will prevent the single participant session to generate excessive high transaction rates.
Okay. No issue.
Again,
Yeah.
this is my own interpretation. I might be wrong, I might be right, but then because no broker came back and said that hey, this is what which happened, right? What would have happened was the brokers who has, let's say, more number of customers. Obviously, when there are more number of traders, the volumes are going to be quite higher. So when a certain broker is sending too many requests, BSC has the authority or the at least the agreement saying that hey, I do not want to process millions of requests from at this point of time because I need to serve
Mhm.
others also.
Got
So
it.
again,
Got
my
it.
reading into this was some brokers it was working, some brokers it was not working, which means that broker who was sending a lot of requests, probably
Hmm.
BSC wasn't able to handle them, versus brokers who has less number of customers, and then they were able problem. I'm
Handle the
guessing
rate. Okay.
sending
Okay.
less number of requests, and they were able to honor them. And last one, they also said that we wanted to really ensure that there is a fairness between the participant sessions, so that
So
I
maybe
don't.
this can be the reason why that happened. Like
I
they
would think
wanted
so.
it.
Yeah, I
Huh.
would think so. In
Okay.
fact, if there are 20 brokers, right, obviously
Mhm.
BSC needs to honor all the 20 brokers, not just feed to one broker where there are maximum number of requests.
Understood.
I
Understood.
think that's what which I think would have happened that point of time. And also, again, this is something that I heard from the broker, one of the
Mhm.
brokers. So there is a error code called 104. One second, let me go back to the. Yeah, this one, 104. This
Mhm.
says result of transaction unknown. At
Mhm.
least this is what which I was told by one of the brokers. So BSC in
Okay.
this particular case, they actually sent across this 104.
Okay.
104, I was told it's very newly introduced code.
Okay.
Again, this is my third party information. As I said, I could be right, I could be wrong.
Okay. Got it. Huh.
But then ideally what should happen is, because 104 is, it's neither order is processed or order is rejected. It's basically it is in the queue because of some technical issue. We do not know what is that issue.
Okay,
So
so here the thing is one thing which I wanted to ask, is it the case that the order is processed but not communicated, or is it the case that order has not even reached the exchange? Like how exactly the case is?
I believe order has reached the exchange. Otherwise, exchange doesn't know that I need to send back 104 at all.
Okay, 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 okay,
So see, thing is, as I said earlier, right? It's a asynchronous, which means that exchange got a message saying that some order is coming to me, but then
okay,
whatever the reason it is, we do not know. But it is not processed. It could be on the queue.
okay. So
So that
basically,
point of
the
time,
no transaction has taken place. So it's in the queue, reached the exchange, but it's not neither complete, rejected, or nothing, basically.
absolutely 100% right. So we do not know the status of the order. So
Okay,
ideally, status of the order should be either it is processed or rejected, one of those. But in this
got it.
case, because it is a result of transaction unknown, which means that it could be on the waiting. So in this case, my view, broker should have anyway. They got this message back saying they were not for, right. So broker should
Mhm.
actually not enable the traders to again resubmit the request. I believe in this case, what would have happened was because that particular message was not processed well. People like me, we have been really punching again and again. That would only cause more traffic to BSC or exchange in this case. So that's
Got
what
it.
which would have happened. Ideally, what I thought would be a good way to handle this is when you get a 104, broker should disable ability for the trader to resubmit an order.
Okay, got
So,
it.
but in this case, we were able to, at least I was able to resubmit. In fact, I saw a lot of other traders posted a video saying that
Mhm.
they were also resubmit, but then they're getting a request saying that order is in queue, order is in process or something. Please wait or
Understand,
something.
understand.
But then
So
the problem
essentially,
is the yeah problem
yeah,
is the
sorry, sorry,
moment
please.
you sorry go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, no, no, please, please go ahead.
Yeah, the problem is the moment you again submit the request, exchange would treat like one more request coming to me. So now the
Got it.
let's say you sent, let's say, 1 million orders in the first attempt, and then when
Mhm.
you're retrying, one more 1 million will go, another 1 million will go, it will suddenly become 3 million in a span of, let's say, 2 3 seconds or 2 3 minutes
Understood,
of the
understood.
time frame. So that I think maybe my view clogged the network, and also maybe BSC wanted to really disconnect this particular line and then probably serve the other brokers. That's what I think would have happened.
Got it. So here, basically, like just to summarize, or let me know if I understood it right. So the
Sure.
first thing, like what we discussed, is with respect to throughput and the latency. So then we discussed about the throttle, like how many requests this entire, like for example, the first one, throughput, what you said, is how many requests a broker is allowed to send. And then we came through the throttle where we understood that the brokers have to be treated fairly. So basically, there is a limit with at which the exchange cuts off, or there is a limit at which the transactions go through, and
That's
then
right.
there is
I think you
finally
are in a
this.
good flow. Go ahead. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So finally, there is this error. So what might have happened is that, okay, because it's asynchronous, the very first part you mentioned. So the orders were being punched, and the orders were in a queue because it might have hit the limit. And then the communication was not made to the client, so they resubmitted the orders, which again clogged up the entire order queue. If I'm
Absolutely right, sir, Saket. I think you got it right. Yeah, that's what I think. Which was happened.
Right. So here, sir, actually, what I wanted to check is because I didn't face the issue from my broker. One of the reason can be it is a slightly smaller broker compared to bigger brokers, right? So here, when this happened, like when multiple orders were resubmitted, did it result in extra orders being punched? So I'm not sure about how it happened for other traders.
I would think so. I would think so because at least I did not see this from Zerodha, but then I think probably Angel Broking. Somebody
Okay.
posted saying that they posted a message saying that if you're not able to if your orders are in the unprocessed stage or whatever, do
Uh-huh.
not resubmit.
Okay. Okay.
So that actually really tallies to this analogy because
Uh-huh.
because the previous orders were in the queue, the
Mm-hmm.
moment you resubmit, it will actually add to one more queue, and it
Understood.
will only clog the entire network. I would think that's what which probably would have happened.
Understood.
I think you can actually see here the retransmission can be initiated for incremental order at rates at point of losses. Confirmation. Anyway, somebody can read this document and then understand what really happened.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, that's what which mostly happened.
So I think this was actually quite insightful because this is not the first time the issues are being faced from the exchange side, especially with the BSC side. So one thing what I want to maybe end this with is what can BSC do better or what can brokers do better so that the communication can take place to the clients in a proper way.
Exchange side, as of now, we did not hear back saying that okay, this was the issue that happened, and then this is what we're trying to do. I felt exchanges are the probably SEBI's regulation got to be a lot more stricter, saying that when some of these issues happen, there got to be some bit of an SLA where you need to go back to the trading community or the investor community to say that this is what which happened, and then this is the resolution that we are working. As of now, nobody heard back from BSC what really happened. So the third one, I think exchanges should maintain some bit of a status on their up or down kind of a status. Let's say if they have
Got it.
100 servers, 1,000 servers, it is always important them to be transparent, saying that out of my 100 servers, these are all working, these are all not working, and also these are all working in a bigger capacity or the full capacity or the smaller capacity. I think if they're able to make it transparent, I think nobody will have any questions around the infrastructure. That is on the exchange side. I think the broker side also, my view, first things first, they need to really show their uptime. I recently saw Fires has that status report.
Right, right, right.
So I think that is my view, very open and transparent way to say that my systems are working or not working. And second one is I think it's important for them to also really communicate what kind of uh, throughput power they actually bought, and then what kind of capacity that they were pretty much
Understood.
using daily. I think that would
Understood.
really give a lot of confidence to traders, saying that if I put an order, rest assured that it's going to really work. A lot of times you
Sure.
hear brokers saying that we have the world class infrastructure, but then none of us know what is that world class means. I think if
Right.
they're able to really talk about some of these words or the technical terms, saying that okay, this is my average latency, this is my throughput, and this is the speed at which my orders are getting processed. I think that would bring a lot of confidence to the trader community, saying that the infrastructure really is going to support my trades, whatever I'm doing. To be honest, after previous Friday's experience, when I was doing
Mm-hmm.
Sensex on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
I also made a new video, right? So it became like a very pray and hope kind of a trade. Once you
Understood.
do the
Understood.
trade, you just need to pray and hope, saying that nothing would break, at least from the technology perspective. I
Right.
think none of us really should get into that kind of situation because most of the times it's our hard-earned money on the at the stake. So none
Got
of
it.
us should really lose money because of the infrastructure, the technology issues.
Understood. I think that was quite insightful, sir. So the reason being, what exactly happens is, as a retail trader, right? So you have very little control on your side. So the max you can do is, let's say, you can place an order through the broker, and if anything happens, right? So you don't know what exactly is happening. Whether some issues there with the broker, some issues there with the exchange. So you call up the support, they tell something, you don't understand half of the things, right? So the whole thing is quite messed up. And today you have shed some light on how exactly the architecture of the broker works and why exactly we might have faced the issue what we have on Friday, right? So this was quite insightful to understand. Okay, the things are connected in such complex way, so we don't even understand the connections in detail, right? So we are superficially just putting things on app, but the networking, the communication goes to another extent itself, right? So the whole architecture, whole infrastructure is extremely complex for us to even comprehend or understand. So I think what you showed with respect to the NSC diagram is also a very simplified version of what really happens, right? So when you say lease lines, I think it will be pulled kilometers, thousands of kilometers together, or sometimes even much more than that, not just the kind of lease lines what we see. And when you say servers, I think there'll be thousands and thousands of servers with all the brokers and exchanges and much more. So that way we got a very simplified explanation from your end as to how things might have gone wrong on Friday. And thank you so much for that. And also, thank you so much for your time. I think it's pretty late back there, and you still made sure that you were able to come and give us a insightful review of the whole thing.
Hey, thank you so much, Saket, and all the best with your entrepreneurship venture. And then, yeah, I hope
Yeah,
everything goes well. Yeah.
sure. Thank you so much, sir. And I will also be attaching your YouTube channel and Twitter link down in the description. So, and also follow him for more such insightful content. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a great remaining day.